Hi everybody, good afternoon. Pilar Arias back with you here this Tuesday afternoon on Fox News Now. You are taking a live look at beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. That's where we are right now. The Cactus Bowl happening at Chase Field tonight. For those of you who are into college football, we have UCLA, whose record is 6-6 versus Kansas State. Record there, 7-5. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be 7 p.m. here in Arizona. We are working to get some content together for you. We'll let you take a look at this beautiful shot. In the meantime, again, thanks so much for watching Fox News Now. Everybody, hey, good afternoon everybody. My mic wasn't on there. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. Some people had 3-day weekend there. If you got to celebrate the Christmas holiday, hope you got everything you asked for. What are some of the things that you guys wanted? What did some of you get? We heard tons of people were heading to the stores today for returns or exchanges, but none of you guys did that, right? You guys all loved everything that you got, right? Right? It was certainly nice to spend some time with my family. You know, I lived in Texas for a total of 5 years. My last 4 years were straight, all in Texas. So, you know, I got very fortunate for the holidays. I could come home during, so that was definitely nice. Well, let's take you to some other news here in the Phoenix area, like right here. Take you to this video from earlier. Again, this is not live. This is video from earlier. Let me tell you the information I have about this story. Okay. So, the Arizona Department of Public Safety says a two-vehicle crash. It would happen around 12:14 this afternoon on westbound I-10, milepost 164. We heard the preliminary information is that a motorcyclist collided with a pickup truck. The motorcyclist was not wearing a helmet and was injured. The motorcyclist taken to Chandler Regional for treatment. Westbound traffic on I-10 was being diverted off at Riggs Road. Again, so this is off of I-10 westbound, Riggs Road, Queen Creek Road area. Arizona Department of Transportation and DPS letting us know about this traffic alert earlier. It appears there was also another accident in the area. So kind of two little snarls for the commute. We have been watching the roads and the air, the flights, all day. Are you traveling? Do you know somebody who is, who was? If you are, or if you do, let me know. Where are you headed, going, coming from? Again, this is video from earlier on Interstate 10. We'll just keep this up for a bit. This was Sky Fox over the scene, so causing a little bit of backup. For a while, traffic was completely stopped in this area. Hey everybody, thanks again for being with us on Fox News Now. Kind of a slower news day than we expected. Not as much going on, which is a good thing. It means, you know, people are hopefully getting to their destinations safely. Might be a few crowds out there on the roads. Feel free to let me know where you guys are watching from and how you found our feed. If you are a first timer to the Fox 10 Phoenix YouTube channel, we have a subscribe button. If you push that, you will be alerted anytime we go live. So again, this was a situation on I-10 earlier in Phoenix. Stopped traffic for a little bit, and then things got moving again. A good reminder, if you're out on the roads and if you do get in a fender bender or a type of situation where you get in a crash but the vehicle is movable, you are asked to move on over to the side of the road so everybody else can get by. You can see the front of that vehicle there on the flatbed tow truck. Looks like the back of the vehicle too was also damaged quite well. We have not heard of any deaths on the road. We're keeping an eye on everything for you. Again, the back of that what appears to be SUV there also damaged. The one on your left side of your screen there. Again, this was earlier. This is not live. This is Interstate 10 from Skyfox. We'll let you take a look. Quite a few people there on the side of the highway cleaning up and figuring out next steps. So again, we just ask everybody be safe on the roads, please, and pack your patience. Good afternoon, everybody. So nice being with you. It's beautiful out here in Phoenix. I was just outside for a little bit. We got the sun shining, no breeze. So very beautiful. Let me show you a live look of the Phoenix area. Have you ever been here? If so, do you come often? And then if you come often, is it a certain time of year? Certain event you might come for maybe? Certain place you always need to eat at when you're here? I love food suggestions, so I will definitely take them into consideration. All right, well, if it's breaking, we like to bring it to you on Fox News Now. We're getting a lot of good feel-good stories into the newsroom right now because, you know, of the holiday break, there's a lot of you know, giving people out there, whether it's their time or their money or anything else they can help with. But for many in Puerto Rico, they are still without power. Tens of thousands of Puerto Rico residents remain without power more than 3 months after Hurricane Maria hit the island. Lucas Tomlinson filed this report for us.
Kind of Christmas for millions of Puerto Rico residents this year, with more than a third of the island still in the dark following a direct hit from Hurricane Maria. Basic supplies like food, water, and medicine still scarce in some areas. forcing many families to improvise their holiday celebrations.
Since our Christmas tree was damaged from the hurricane, my daughter drew one and said she would post it on the wall so that Santa Claus would come to drop off her gifts.
Puerto Rico officials say power has been restored to 65% of the island, but the Army Corps of Engineers, leading the recovery effort, says that number is misleading because it only accounts for the overall amount of electricity being generated, and most power lines are still down, meaning it's not getting to people's homes.
There is no lighting, and it's possible that while we are passing by, a crime could be happening inside a building and we don't notice it.
The Corps has about 800 soldiers and 3,500 contractors working on the power grid. Residents say they're grateful for the help, but spirits are low in areas with no electricity for Christmas or New Year's. Many are frustrated about celebrating the holidays in the dark, while others are doing their best to remember the spirit of the season.
We've always seen Christmas more as a service than a festivity. We always celebrate life.
The Corps of Engineers estimates power should be restored to 95% of the island by March, but remote areas could be in the dark until May. At the Pentagon, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
Thanks so much for that report, Lucas. All right, well, a little bit of holiday cheer despite the fact that 3 months after Hurricane Maria, many on the island still without power. Well, some other national news: yellow signs with a positive message popping up in thousands of yards across the country. And as Fox's Carly Hilliard explains, it all started with a 17-year-old's Easter project.
Thank you, Jesus.
We believe that there is power in the names.
When 17-year-old Lucas Hunt thought of that line,
I didn't think it would get this far.
Today, more than 100,000 of these signs line the lawns of homes in all 50 states, across a dozen countries, and in 2 languages.
People kept calling and asking if they could have one, and you can't tell someone no.
The idea started as an Easter project in 2015. And it's evolved into a message to be celebrated year-round.
It's a Christmas message. Without Christmas, you wouldn't have Easter.
The sign means something different to everybody who owns one. For some, it's a reminder to give thanks.
A lot of us have heard stories how the sign has impacted them on their life.
For others, a sign of hope.
So whether you do believe or don't believe, we hope that it plants a seed in somebody's heart.
For Hunt and his team, the signs have come to represent giving back.
It was all about planting them instead of selling them.
But when the project took off and the money started rolling in at $8 a sign, Hunt knew he didn't want to keep it. He and the sign's co-creator, Connie Frazier, now put the money into their nonprofit. So every time you see one of these signs, you know they're funding projects like serving breakfast and a Bible study for homeless people and providing transportation for after-school programs for low-income kids.
This has been one of the most humbling experiences that I've ever gone through. To drive down a road and see the name of Jesus in somebody's yard and knowing that that person loves God and wants to publicly display it.
Hunt stopped setting number goals for his signs.
Every goal I set just was blown out of the water.
Instead, his goal is to put the future of the movement entirely in God's hands and remind everyone who drives by these signs of the reason for the season. Carly Hilliard, Fox 8 News.
Well, now you know the reason behind those signs if you see them anywhere across the U.S. Well, what a Christmas for one couple in Minnesota. As the pair traveled to the hospital, they had to pull over to the side of the road, and the gift they got next, well, at least they were expecting, just possibly not quite when they got it.
We were headed to United. It's where I had my other 2 babies.
As most unwrapped presents Christmas morning at 6 pounds, 8 ounces, and 4 weeks early. Poppy Lindman is the gift that just couldn't wait.
It's okay.
To spread joy to the world.
I definitely thought I'm going to have the baby in the car.
Hannah gave birth as she and her husband Taylor pulled over along Highway 8 in Chisago County. But over the phone, a literal lifeline.
It was exciting.
Jake Prager of Alina Health EMS didn't miss a beat.
It was about two or three pushes and Poppy was out.
Poppy is the 4th baby Jake's delivered in the past year.
Usually houses, but I never had one out of a car.
His first year on the job.
Just glad that it wasn't his first, I guess, because he knew what he was doing and he was calm and collected, and that helped keep us calm too.
And as Jake got Hannah and Taylor through every step,
it really was pretty awesome to see and do.
Officer Brian Carlson of the Lakes Area Police Department was on the scene just in the nick of time.
I cut off a shoelace, tied off the umbilical cord with the shoelace, and just a couple minutes after that, the Lakes Region EMS ambulance, paramedic, and EMT arrived.
He was very excited, I could tell.
Definitely a special delivery.
And a holiday surprise that gives a whole new meaning to roadside delivery.
Definitely a gift.
We were...
Aw, that's so cute. Little baby kind of, you know, like I said, we keep getting all these feel-good stories out from across the U.S. right now. Lots of things happened over the Christmas break, 3-day weekend for some. Some still not back at work. Are you back at work? If so, did you have to deal with any traffic today? It's a little lighter for me on the way in this morning, so that was certainly something that I appreciated. Hey, when you did all of your family gatherings lately, there may or may not have been a lot of them. I don't know. Some people don't, you know, they skip the family gatherings. But anyway, did you have any topics not allowed for discussion, things that you couldn't talk about? For a lot of families, it's normally like politics and stuff like that. But what about how to maximize your memory? Was that an off-topic, a not welcome topic? And the winter chores you should leave to your kids. Well, Fox Business Network's Nicole Petalides has these stories in a look at your health.
Peace and harmony can be a reality at family gatherings. Just avoid one topic. A recent Reuters Ipsos poll found that 62% dreaded talking about politics the most when relatives get together. And nearly 1/3 said they plan to avoid the subject. Therapists recommend lowering your expectations. Don't assume family members share your opinions. And instead of making statements about your beliefs, ask questions in order to understand their views. Do you ever forget your grocery list or phone in the car and can't remember what you need to buy for dinner? Next time, try reading the list out loud. A new study finds it may improve your chances of remembering it. Researchers at the University of Waterloo in Ontario say learning and memory benefit from active involvement. So reading out loud may be the key to retaining written information, not just your grocery list, even more so than just reading silently or hearing someone else read. And you won't even have to ask Siri. And finally, a warning to stay safe during the winter weather season.
There's more heart attacks that occur during this period of time. And you know why? People are out there shoveling snow who haven't picked up a shovel in 2 years. Don't get on that ladder. Have your child do it. Hand it off to your kid. So don't do things physically that you're not used to doing.
With your health, I'm Nicole Petalides.
All right, everybody, you are taking a live look somewhere in Arizona. We're no longer taking a look at the downtown area. This looks like it is a shot from one of our cameras, atop of a mountain, but it's just so beautiful. I just wanted to show it to you. So, if you've never been to Arizona, we are called the Valley for a reason. It's because we are surrounded by mountains. So literally, the Phoenix area is in a valley or a valley? One of the two. Hey, earlier today, if you watch Fox 10 Extra, we air from 10 a.m. to noon. Some people on the YouTube chat right now are asking about our streaming hours. So we normally launch in the morning at the latest 9 a.m. And we are, for now, we are for sure 9 a.m. to noon. And so along with being on YouTube, if something major breaks that we're covering, we are on YouTube. We are on Fox 10 Extra, which again is channel 45 on Rabbit Ears or digital antenna, channel 9 on cable. And so, okay, so we have TV, we have on air, we have YouTube, and then if something is major happening, we also air it on the Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live page. So you can find a lot of our stuff there. So make sure that you follow us on social media. News Now has its own Facebook page along with myself, and I know I have a professional page. I'm not sure if Mike Pace does, but I know he has a professional Twitter. I know you can find Mike Pace on Twitter. I also have a professional Twitter. And then, you know, all those other social media sites, you name it. We're probably on it because we like to connect with you guys. We like to let you guys know what's going on, where, and the latest information. And sometimes, mind you, you know the breaking news cycle, so sometimes stories come in and we're just not getting that much information, or the information is very what we call fluid, which means it changes very rapidly. You know, I believe when we had the Amtrak train derailment last week in Washington, we first got reports. Let me show you guys while I'm talking here, by the way. Hi, everybody. So last week during the Washington train derailment, we initially got reports that up to 6 people had died, and then that number changed to 3. But we did know for sure that dozens were injured. So that's the situation, you know, where things were very fluid. And then when we had the gas-related explosion here in Phoenix this week, that was also another circumstance where we were hearing one thing and it was happening so quickly. And fortunately, the fire department gave us a brief press conference right there at the beginning there at the scene. So that helped us out a little bit to get the information to you. But aside from watching us, the best way you can get the information on Facebook and Twitter. So please be sure to follow us. Myself on Twitter, I am at PilarFox10. So certainly appreciate the follows there. Again, though, we do have, oh, matter of fact, I'm actually able to show you something really cool. So give me a second here. Let me, I'm going to take you guys to New York City really quick while I try to pull something up for you. Oh, wow, look at that. So earlier today, we had an interesting look at that. It was the first time since I've been able to see this shot in New York City at the Fox headquarters, right at Rockefeller Center, across the street from Radio City Music Hall, that like the sun was shining so brightly in there that you could actually hardly see the cars going by. Like, the street was so bright from the sun shining right between the buildings there that you could hardly see the cars going by. But still a very busy time of year there in New York City, in Manhattan. So lots of cars on the road. You see, you know, charter buses, tour buses, lots of taxi cars. I think I see a semi-truck driving in there. You got people on both sides of the street. Looks like they got a little bit of a wind chill going on there as well. So we are keeping a close eye on a couple things. You know, we have Fox affiliates across the country. Today, are you guys ready for me to show you one of the most watched things today? And this is currently being broadcast on Fox 35 WOFL. Let me pull it up for you. We have been on Eagle Cam. Yeah, look at this. We can see the little beak of the soon-to-be hatched eaglet down in South Florida. So, you know, we've had other animal cameras before. Today, this has been a major one. Right now, currently, 245 people watching on Facebook. Again, this is our Fox affiliate. So, what do you guys think about this? I saw the egg earlier in this picture, but I'm not seeing it anymore. I'm assuming the eagle is right there on top of it. But yeah, pretty interesting. All right, everybody. Well, did you hear, those of you who weren't with us for Fox 10 Extra, thanks for being with us now. Appreciate it. Ron Hoon and I started out the show kind of talking about the stock market, because yesterday we didn't trade because it was Christmas Day. Today we did. And things kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a slow start. I know Apple shares dropped for a little bit. Not quite sure if they bounced back to where they were. But supposedly that happened because Apple said that they were cutting back the order of the iPhone X's or iPhone 10s. So they were expecting to sell less, so they ordered less. And supposedly the stock market didn't like that very much. Apple also in the news for other things right now, like lawsuits regarding them slowing down older iPhones when newer ones come out and they push out all the updates. So we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that for you, let you know what happened. But let's take a look now at how stocks did today. Here we go. I'm going to take down the graphic for you so you guys can see. Again, this is not a live shot. The market closed a little bit ago, but this is how things ended for the day. A lot of interesting way to look at it, I guess you could say, the day after Christmas. You've got the green and the red in there. So, yeah. All right, well, let's take a look at some traffic now, because I told you we're keeping an eye on all day on the roads and the skies. This is a live look. This is I-10 eastbound at El Mirage. So, again, you know, that's why I ask you guys all the time, like, hey, where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? We'd like to know, because I like to know how many people aren't in the Phoenix area that I'm talking to, or who aren't even in Arizona. Like, you know, are you on the East Coast? Are you in the northwest part of the country? I've never been to the northwest part of the country. I'm trying to get there soon to like the Seattle and Portland area, because I've never been up there. But I-10 for sure, one of the major thoroughfares in the valley in Arizona. I've actually, not all at once, but I have actually driven the entire portion of Interstate 10 in Arizona. So it goes obviously from the California-Arizona border, and then it comes and it goes through the Phoenix area, and then it comes and it goes through the Tucson area, and then it comes and it goes down southern Arizona for a bit, and then it eventually connects to New Mexico. So again, I have not driven it all in its entirety. I've never gone from New Mexico to California or California to New Mexico, all in like one drive or one time span, or I've done it in a trip, but it wasn't a consistent, like, you know, I pit stopped along the way and the next morning continued on. But major thoroughfare, so we've certainly been keeping an eye on that today. Looks like, oh, the shot froze up there for a sec. But, you know, aside from the little snafu on the southern end a little bit ago with that crash that I showed you when we first launched here, we haven't heard of anything major. Everything's been going smoothly, so that's good news. That's great news, considering how many travelers we are expecting to be out there today. So there's a lot of you tuning in who, you know, haven't met me yet. Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Pilar Arias. Talked about all of our social media. But what I was trying to pull up for you earlier, before I went to the Eagle Cam. The Eagle Cam is pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Let me see here. I think I'm getting some new information. All right, let's see, everybody. Bear with me, please. Just getting a traffic alert from the Arizona Department of Transportation. Now, I don't have a visual of this camera. I'm looking around at all my live feeds right now, and I don't see it, but the Arizona Department of Transportation just tweeted Loop 101 Pima westbound at Cave Creek Road. The right 2 lanes were blocked for a crash, but now they have reopened. So again, Loop 101 Pima westbound have we opened at Cave Creek Road. I'm getting some more traffic news for you guys. For the I-10, the left lane reopened. So remember, when we started the show, we let you know on the I-10 Riggs Road area, Queen Creek Road area, there was a couple crashes out there slowing things down. So, like I said, we are keeping an eye on the roads for you. Okay, all of I-10 is reopened now. Is the information I am just learning. Still here with you all. All right, so we were talking about social media. Let me take you over really quick. Here is my professional Facebook page. So at Pilar Arias Fox 10, this is how you spell my name, for those of you wondering. So, okay, if you were in California or Arizona, this was the 22nd. So what night was that? Was that Friday, I believe? Let me check my calendar here. I'm getting a little behind. I know what day it is now, but yes, the 22nd was Friday. So did you see the SpaceX rocket launch out of California? That's what these pictures are right here. See that? Look at that. This was taken in the Phoenix area, these pictures that I took. Look at that. Isn't that pretty cool? Feel free to share with us on the Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook and Twitter. If you took any pictures, you can tweet us, let us know. I also took a video here of it. I had some comment that somebody left from me. Let me see here. No sound, but the video's right here. This is before I knew what it was. So I was like, what is this? And it was zooming by extremely fast. So I was fascinated. But again, this SpaceX launch happened in California. We could see it here in the Phoenix area. So pretty cool. While I have you guys again, that is my professional page, Pilar Arias Fox 10. Always such a pleasure being here with you guys. And remember, when you see me like leaning over or looking over, or it's because, you know, I gotta control everything. I gotta bring up all the live feeds. I gotta click here, click there, but I'm still with you guys, and I, you know, I love the discussions in the chat. I really do, and I pay attention. You know, sometimes you guys tag us to make sure that we're paying attention, but we do for sure. We, I don't know if you want to say hear you. I guess read you. Hey, I'm gonna say Christmas break, and apologies if you don't celebrate Christmas. I mean, not apologies, but I understand that not everybody celebrates Christmas. But I'm gonna call it Christmas break because it technically was, and Christmas was yesterday, and we had the 3-day weekend. So, but I mean, did anything happen in your communities that was either newsworthy or that you were paying attention to, or, you know, feel free to, you know, give us some story ideas or some heads up about things. You know, a lot of people rely on us to bring them the latest and, you know, show them stuff that they can't get anywhere else, and that's what we really enjoy doing. That is that's why we're here. I have another beautiful shot to show you guys right now. Look at that, Times Square. And with that, that's kind of a good segue for me right now, because I want to know, okay, are you guys ready? I want to know, what are your New Year's Eve plans? Your New Year's Eve plans, or New Year's Day, or New Year's Day, because it's kind of always been, you know, I've kind of always wanted to be in Times Square for New Year's, but I've heard some stories, not necessarily like horror stories, but I've been warned, like, hey, if you don't like crowds, you probably don't want to be in Times Square for New Year's Eve. I've been told, like, hey, if you like the luxury of going to the restroom when you want or you need to, you might not want to be in Times Square for New Year's Eve. But I've heard it's one of those like once in a lifetime experiences. So I feel like for a lot of people, it's kind of always in the back of their mind. It's kind of always a, how do you say it? Kind of a, not really like a dream or a goal, but, you know, just something that you imagine that you would want to do once and be like, oh, that's really cool. Like, have you guys ever been in New Orleans for Mardi Gras? I've never been to New Orleans. I lived really close when I used to live in Southeast Texas, but I never made it over there. I never made it over there. Somebody is asking if Times Square is really a square. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it? Well, I've been there once. I've been to New York City once, and you know, when you have all the businesses and all the signs around you and that sort of thing, I guess it feels like it. I don't know. And, you know, you can tell in this picture that the sun is setting. Certainly can. Hey, how many of you saw the words I'm going to use for short, POTUS and FLOTUS? So the President of the United States and the First Lady of the United States, they put out a Christmas greeting from the White House. Of course, they're in Mar-a-Lago for the holidays, but President Trump actually hasn't been vacationing. He's kind of been, I guess, planning his first steps for 2018, for next year. We keep calling it 2018. Guys, it's in less than a week. Less than a week. I kind of feel like this year really flew by. I really do. What do you guys think? Did it go by quickly? Did it go by slow? Did any major events kind of make it feel like it went by faster or went by slower? Anyway. Okay, well, I'm going to air this Christmas greeting from President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. So, let's watch it together.
My fellow Americans, Melania and I are delighted to wish America and the entire world a very Merry Christmas.
At this time of year, we see the best of America and the soul of the American people. We see children packing boxes to brighten the Christmases of our brave men and women in uniform. We see families reaching out to neighbors in need. And we see communities coming together to serve one another.
In the season of joy, we spend time with our families. We renew the bonds of love and goodwill between our citizens. And most importantly, we celebrate the miracle of Christmas. For Christians, we remember the story of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph that began more than 2,000 years ago. As the book of Isaiah tells us, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." This good news is the greatest Christmas gift of all, the reason for our joy and the true source of our hope.
This Christmas season, we celebrate our blessings as Americans, and we pray for peace all over the world.
On behalf of Melania, myself, Barron, and the entire Trump family, God bless you, God bless America, and have a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right, everybody, that was released yesterday by the White House. So to me, it's always just, I guess, intriguing. That might be the right word for it. But it's always kind of nice to see the president and the first lady like out of the Oval Office, out of, you know, DC, so to speak. Just, you know, we get so caught up sometimes in like other people's lives, you know, celebrities, high profile people, that, you know, sometimes we forget that they're people too, and they experience the magic of a season or all the moods and the spirits, and so that's pretty cool, right? All right, take you one more look at how the market closed today, the stock market. Kind of a interesting day, but again, stocks were not trading yesterday due to the holiday. Hey, are you traveling today, or do you know anybody who is? I feel like I've been looking at the roads and the skies all day. We had the Denver International Airport earlier on the show. We had a shot of Cleveland. Taking a look at Cleveland, ice and snow. Andrea Robinson was up here with me earlier talking about, you know, just sort of the conditions that people could expect, whether they were going or coming. I believe it was up in the negative numbers in, you know, like Bismarck or Billings, somewhere up there pretty far north in the U.S. It looked like it was freezing. Definitely looked like it was freezing. I see somebody says they're traveling home after work. That's it. Hey, some people still had today off, or they're off until the new year. I'm a little jealous when it comes to that. Hey, so we had several feel-good stories. We also had some sad stories coming out today over the holidays. So I'm going to try to bring up some of those for you. All right, let's take a look here. Well, in Houston, this is actually footage. It's not live, but this is from our Houston Fox affiliate. And they had a fire at an apartment complex that took out 30 units. So dozens of families now displaced, dozens of families without their homes the day after Christmas. So you can imagine they did not just lose, you know, their personal belongings, but likely some gifts that were under the tree just yesterday were likely lost in this fire. So fire crews had to call in 2 additional departments to help them fight the fire. It took them 4 hours to put out the fire, but some good news here. When people living at this apartment complex, which I believe it was called Ashton Place 2, I remember it was in South Houston, when people smelled the smoke who live at this apartment complex, they sprung into action. The fire broke out just after midnight. They sprung into action. They went knocking door to door to get people out. Door to door to get people out. So even though you see this devastating video where you can see, like, it looks like an entire building of this apartment complex is completely gone. The silver lining in all this, nobody killed. Not a single person. And we didn't hear of any injuries from anybody fighting the fire too. So, you know, some people, you know, to some people, belongings are just that, belongings. But life is irreplaceable. Still no word on what caused this fire. Our YouTube chat, all of you watching, hey, thanks again for being here with us. We're getting some suggestions as to possibly what may have happened here. We don't know exactly what happened, but I mean, I know we probably use this term a lot. Could you imagine? But in this instance, I don't think I could. Hey, we're still getting to know each other, right? You guys are still getting to know me. I'm still getting to know you. We have a lot of regulars on our YouTube. And just to let you guys know, the reason I go right a lot is because I have the YouTube chat up and I watch what you're saying and asking and all that sorts of jazz. So, but it just reminded me, I was just watching that story about the Houston apartment fire. And last Christmas, when I was working in San Antonio, Texas, I think it was Christmas Eve, I had to cover a fire where, you know, the fire damage itself wasn't that extensive, but the smoke damage went throughout the house, and family completely lost their home and belongings on Christmas Eve. So it's always difficult to report on those kinds of stories. So, hey, California here in less than a week. I think, you know, they're going to have some major changes in marijuana laws. So let's take a look at what that means for them. What do you say?
It will certainly be a merry 2018 for recreational marijuana companies in California, but the regulations are still a bit hazy for an industry expected to bring in billions. Can you walk into a Los Angeles pot store on January 1st and start the new year on a high?
It's absolutely not going to take place.
That's because the state of California did not finalize its regulations for the recreational industry until mid-November. That left cities scrambling to figure out how and when to issue licenses.
So businesses will still have to come to the department, get temporary approval to do legal adult use sales before that even takes place.
In Los Angeles and San Francisco, companies won't be able to start selling recreational marijuana in 2018 for a week or longer after the calendar turns.
We would have preferred to have it by January 1st, but I think January 5th or 6th is still on target. It was a complex set of regulations that they only had a couple months to work on, and it just takes time, and they got it right.
Then there's the law enforcement side.
DUI, we expect to go up. Minor usage, we expect to go up.
Plus, since marijuana can stay in the body for weeks or longer, authorities have to figure out if drivers are really under the influence.
I think for most of our officers, impaired is impaired. They can see that based on their training and their experience.
5 states, Colorado, Washington, Nevada, Alaska, and Oregon, currently allow recreational pot sales, and 3 more, Maine, Massachusetts, and California, will join in 2018. The Golden State will be the biggest by far and has not shied away from bucking the Trump administration on other big national issues like immigration.
It's the beginning of the end of the war on marijuana, which means it's the beginning of the end of the war on drugs.
Of course, marijuana is still illegal on the federal level. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has called the drug dubious, which has led to criticism from pro-pot groups. In Los Angeles, Will Carr, Fox News.
Hey, Will, thanks so much for that report. It's interesting to see, like the police training, they say impaired is impaired, and they know who is and what to do. But it's certainly going to be interesting. I mean, it's a hot topic debate. It was in 2017, and it likely will carry on into next year. I want to show you that picture again in beautiful Times Square. Hey, if anybody can let me know why it's called that. I mean, I'm sure I could look it up myself, but if anybody's looking for something to do, along with a lot of people in this, I see a lot of cars. Well, let me take that graphic off so you guys can see. You see that? Oh, it looks like maybe a first responder there on the middle bottom. See some red and blue flashing lights there, but there you see all the advertisements popping up, and of course the sun is setting, so they're all getting brighter and brighter. But I mean, hey, when you're looking here, you can't help but think about New Year's Eve and what your plans are and that sort of thing. I feel like I've been not really a traffic reporter, but certainly keeping an eye on the roads and the skies. Again, everything moving smoothly. Normally this time of day, we're in rush hour traffic in the Phoenix area. It's coming up here on 3 o'clock. I know on the East Coast, it's already dinner time. It's 5 o'clock. But, I mean, how's traffic been in your towns, your cities? Have you been on the roads to, from anywhere? Okay, here's a question for you guys. I'm going to be on camera when I ask you this. Hang on. Okay, here's a question for you guys. Any of you go to the stores today to return anything or exchange anything? Or maybe you didn't get what you wanted to begin with, so you went out and bought it for yourself? Nobody's done that, right? That never happens. Yeah, I hope everybody had a great holiday, great weekend. Back to work for some of us. Others fortunate to have off until the new year. Do you automatically get holidays off, or do you have to ask for them? I like to keep this active. I like to keep us talking to each other, conversing with each other. I guess that's the whole point. But I let you guys know, we saw that message from President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, their Christmas wish. But we actually got a report this morning that it's not all vacation for the president down in Mar-a-Lago. So let's take a listen to that report.
Fellow Americans.
A Christmas tweet and a video message from the first couple.
At this time of year, we see the best of America and the soul of the American people.
We renew the bonds of love and goodwill between our citizens. And most importantly, we celebrate the miracle of Christmas.
A few hours earlier, President Trump claims such greetings were once admonished, and he's responsible for returning those words to public acceptability. He tweeted, quote, "People are proud to be saying Merry Christmas again. I am proud to have led the charge against the assault of our cherished and beautiful phrase, Merry Christmas."
Shall we?
Last evening, the president and Mrs. Trump attended religious services at the nearby Bethesda by the Sea, an Episcopal church. They married there 12 years ago. Despite the president's holiday respite, the White House says this morning he addressed serious matters. A briefing on a deadly suicide bombing in Afghanistan's capital. International reports say the Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack near Afghan intelligence headquarters in Kabul, killing several victims. In August, President Trump announced the United States would again expand its military presence in Afghanistan, a country that's hosted a substantial U.S. force for more than 16 years. Yesterday, the president turned to domestic matters, tweeting, quote, "The tax cut reform bill, including massive Alaska drilling and the repeal of the highly unpopular individual mandate, brought it all together as to what an incredible year we had. Don't let the fake news convince you otherwise, and our insider polls are strong. Though external polling shows more Americans disapprove of the president's job than approve." He and his congressional Republican allies will also return to Washington next month with unfinished legislation addressing infrastructure, health care, budgeting, and more.
We have the immigration issues that need to be dealt with now, and I think the manner in which that is handled can set the stage for Congress, Democrats and Republicans working together, or if they can't, if the president won't work with us on that, it's going to be a tough year.
And there's also the ongoing special counsel investigation into whether there was collusion with the Russian government in the 2016 campaign. The president has focused on FBI Director Andrew McCabe, as his wife ran as a Democrat for a Virginia state Senate seat.
The president is saying we need to know that our civil servants are doing the honorable thing, and it's important that the American people know what happened in that investigation.
McCabe is reportedly expected to retire next March, as soon as he becomes eligible for his government pension. McCabe has already faced several hours of questioning from a couple of congressional committees. As for President Trump, he's expected to spend the balance of this week here in South Florida. In West Palm Beach, Rich Edson, Fox News.
Hey, Rich, thanks so much for that report. I kind of like how he started off with the Christmas greeting from the White House that I showed you guys just moments ago. Hey, is anybody still in the holiday spirit? You know, when do you, if you do celebrate Christmas, when do you take down your decorations? Do you wait until New Year's? I know some people wait until like I think it's a week after the New Year. Is it called All King's Day? Some people wait until then, I thought I've heard. But you know, our own Marcy Jones filed a report earlier talking about, you know, just if you have a live Christmas tree, I'm gonna be real honest, probably not very live anymore, or if it is, it's on its last leg. So you want to make sure that you're being safe, and you want to make sure that you dispose of it properly, not just to protect your home, but other people's homes as well. You don't want to leave it on the side of a curb. You want to make sure it's disposed of properly. Well, hey, wintry weather, I think is the proper term for it, and traveling has been the name of the game for us today here at Fox News Now. We have been keeping an eye on as many of the roads and the airports and the skies as we can. So we actually just got this report, and I'm going to pull up some information for you all. 1 second here. So this is in Erie, Pennsylvania, that has been particularly hit with some major snow. We just got this report in, so let's take a watch.
Bitter cold and dangerous winter weather conditions now affecting large portions of the U.S.
The girls wanted to go ice skating, and we tried, but it's really cold. It's freezing.
The National Weather Service warning colder than normal temperatures are expected across the Midwest and Northeast for the rest of the year.
You just prepare with your coat, your mittens, and your muffs, everything you need to take care of.
With subarctic air and frigid winds in Minnesota and Wisconsin, alerts are also being issued, as wind chills could hit -35. Wind chill advisories and warnings have also been issued from the Dakotas and Iowa to Michigan, Indiana, into New England and New York. In parts of Ohio, hazardous winter road conditions have had state officials reducing some highway speed limits to 30 miles per hour. In other places, snow has been causing problems.
A lot of snow, just keeps coming, just won't stop.
In Erie, Pennsylvania, they've received nearly 60 inches of snow in 30 hours, shattering many records. The National Weather Service says this is the greatest two-day total in the state of Pennsylvania. Meantime, in Boston late Monday, a JetBlue Airways plane slid off the taxiway at Boston's Logan Airport. The flight, coming in from Savannah, Georgia, briefly skidded when it landed. No one was injured on that JetBlue flight, but fire crews did help passengers off the plane onto buses to take them to the terminal. In New York, David Lee Miller, Fox News.
Hey, David Lee Miller, thanks so much for that report. That looks like a lot of snow. This may be a repeat depending on how often you watch us, and we love when you watch us, so the more you watch us, the happier we are. But I was saying earlier on Fox 10 Extra, which again, channel 45 if you have a digital antenna, or rabbit ears that we call it, or cable channel 9. So when I first started college, the first university that I went to was in northern Arizona. It's in Flagstaff. And a lot of people don't know that it does snow in parts of Arizona. We do get some snow. And so I remember the first time I had to deal really with ice and snow. And I was not a new driver, because I'd been driving since my early teens, but I was a first-time car owner. And I'm going to tell you guys a funny story here, okay? Are you ready? So I was living on campus at the time, and I had known that it snowed, but I guess I didn't know how much it had snowed or how much was still on my car, because I remember running out right before I had to make it to a final, and my car was just covered in feet of snow. And so I'm all, you know, layered up and, you know, thicker than usual because of all the jackets, and I just remember getting my arms and, you know, trying to get all the snow off the top of my car, and then I had to get a credit card, and I was like scraping the ice off of my window, and I turned on my windshield wipers, and I turned on my defroster, and I, you know, I got it done as quickly as I could. But man, that was like the most intense snow encounter ever. And then just when you think it's over, you know, you're driving and not everything is plowed, right? So there's still ice on the road, so, you know, it could be a little slips here or there. And then I remember finally parking, and then I was like, I am, you know, running late to this final, to take this final, which a lot of times in college your final really kind of determines your grade. It depends. And I just remember running to the classroom where this final was taking place, and my the snow was so high that it was coming up to like my kneecaps, and like for me that was like my first real snow experience. And it was really funny because my dad was like, there's no way you're going to return there for a second winter. Like, you know, you're not a winter girl. You don't like cold. And I said, you know what, Dad? I'm going to do it. And I did it. I went back for my sophomore year. I ended up transferring to Arizona State eventually. But I did technically make it 2 winters living in a place where it snowed. So as an Arizona native, as a, you know, desert kind of girl, pretty impressed, pretty impressed. All right, well, we're continuing to get those feel-good stories from across the nation for you. Well, could you imagine being lifelong friends with someone? I'm very fortunate to have had, still have friends in my life from like the elementary school days, but being lifelong friends and getting the shock of a lifetime when you actually find out that you are related to that friend. Let's watch this report together.
Alan Robinson and Walter McFarland have been the best of friends for 60 years.
Well, we love to play cribbage. We've been playing cribbage all our lives, and I beat him the last time we played.
The two were born and raised in Hawaii, and they played football at Punahou. When did you guys first meet?
High school? No! Back in 6th grade. 6th grade? Yeah. Oh, okay. When we went there. He was the partier. I never went to did any partying in high school.
They also shared a special bond throughout their friendship. Walter never knew his father, and Alan was adopted.
And I had a younger brother that I lost when he was 19. So I never had nieces or nephews, and I thought, I'll never know my birth mother. I'll never know I'll never have any nieces or nephews.
With the help of his family, Walter searched for answers for years through the internet and social media with no luck. So they turned to family DNA matching websites.
So then we started digging into all the matches he started getting.
At the top of the list of DNA matches was the username Robbie737. The results showed Walter and Robbie737 had several matches in their DNA, including identical X chromosomes. Remember Alan? His last name is Robinson.
And as a nickname, everybody called him Robbie. And he flew 737s for Aloha Airlines. He's a pilot.
It turns out Alan had also used Ancestry.com to find answers about his family. After a few phone calls back and forth, the men learned they shared the same birth mother.
It was a shock.
Yeah, it was a shock. Yeah, definitely a shock. But then when he thought about it, compared forearms and everything.
Hairy arms, that did it.
The two revealed the discovery to friends and family Saturday night.
Without further ado, my brother.
It was an overwhelming experience, and it's still overwhelming. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get rid of this feeling.
Now that the initial shock has set in, Walter and Alan say they have plans to travel and enjoy retirement together.
This is the best Christmas present I can ever imagine having.
It really is a Christmas miracle, and we're just like so happy that we found it.
Elisa Arevalo, KHON 2 News.
Hey everybody, we are switching gears very quickly here. Actually got this information from a viewer, so thanks so much for watching Fox News Now. Viewer discretion is advised. You are taking a look at a live picture from Fox 32 Chicago where it appears there is a house fire on the intersection of 61st and, I think I'm going to say this wrong, is it Walcott? I don't think it's Wool because it's spelled W-O-L-C-O-T-T. Again, house fire in the West Englewood neighborhood. This is on the city south side. Again, viewer discretion is advised. We don't have a whole lot of information coming out of here, but we will take a watch. Of course, we don't get any audio, but we will see what crews are doing here. Again, viewer discretion is advised. We don't have a whole lot of information coming out, but remember, we like to show you live feeds from across the nation. So again, this is the intersection of 61st, and I believe it's Walcott, W-L-L-C-O-T-T, house fire in the West Englewood neighborhood on the city's south side. So again, viewer discretion is advised. We are taking a look here. Appears there's a car stuck there in either melted snow or possibly water there from the crews fighting the fire. Not quite sure exactly which it could be there. But hey, we definitely like to listen to you viewers about what is going on. This is actually the first live look of major breaking news we've gotten today because things have been a little bit slower than we expected. Let me try to, there we go. You guys see that? The flameage is still there for sure and smoke coming out. It kind of, I'm wondering if it looks like this because of how cold it is. You definitely see the steam coming up from fighting the flames. Not quite sure if that's all smoke, steam, flames, but it's got like an orange tint to it, so it's certainly making me think. Again, this is coming out of Fox 32 in Chicago. They call it Air Fox instead of Sky Fox out there. West Englewood neighborhood, South Chicago. We're certainly keeping an eye on that. You guys know. Hang on here. I'm losing the shot. Bear with me. I'm going to take you to New York really quick while I try to fix this. Okay, here we go. All right, look at that, guys. Look at that. You can see all the snow on the ground. They certainly had a white Christmas. Tons of fire crews there on the ground. Hoping they'll switch over. No information as to how this fire started. Try to find some more information for you guys. Please bear with me. Hey, while we're watching these amazing live visuals Again, they call it Air Fox. It's their version of Sky Fox. I'm reading that it's bitterly cold out there in Chicago, and the weather conditions started yesterday and stuck around all day today, particularly in the far north suburbs. So this is on the south side of Chicago. The high out there in Chicago today only expected to be 8 degrees. We were just talking about snow and ice. 8 degrees with wind chill values as low as 15 degrees below zero. That's according to the National Weather Service. A hazardous I'm getting tongue-tied. A hazardous weather outlook is in place, warning of, quote, significant excessive cold risk throughout northern Illinois and northwest Indiana through tomorrow. Temperatures at O'Hare, hey, I've flown in and out of there, maybe you have too, reached a low of 2 degrees below zero this morning, and were expected to drop by another degree late tonight. They are expected to drop another degree late tonight. All right, just to let you guys know, viewer discretion is advised here. Their chopper out there is kind of switching around. I'm not quite sure if he's trying to show us the wind chill or how far the smoke is going, but we are keeping an eye on this for you. A wind chill advisory issued until midnight tonight for Cook, DuPage, Grundy, Will, I may say this wrong, Kankakee, Livingston, Iroquois. Hey, if you're from Illinois, please help me out here. Ford and Lake counties, as well as Porter, Newton, Jasper, and Benton counties in Indiana. The cold expected to linger through most of the week, with highs rising back into the teens on Thursday and Friday. Hey, they switched shots on us. That's okay. That's all right. Remember, when it's happening live, we like to bring it to you guys, so that's what we did. And sometimes we lose the shot because they have to go cover other news or something is happening. But again, that was in the Chicago area. Every about, you know, I'm not going to say every half hour, guys, but every once in a while I like to ask you where you're watching from. Again, you are taking a live look here at I-10 eastbound at El Mirage. So the lanes on the right-hand side appear to be the eastbound lanes headed towards the Phoenix area. Actually, looks like it's getting a little bit heavier out there. Probably the, don't quote me on this, not the most traffic of the day, but, all right, well, we were just in the Chicago area. Let me, I'm going to try to take you to the northeast so you can see the weather conditions there. All right, everybody ready? I'm gonna bring up weather on the northeast. Take a look at this. Wow. Very cold, very cold. Any of you up there in the northeast, perhaps Bangor, Maine, Burlington, is that Vermont? Boston, Massachusetts? Buffalo, Toronto area. You know, we mention the states a lot because that's where we get a lot of our live feeds, but, you know, we essentially have a worldwide audience, and we've had people from different countries comment about, you know, where they are and look at that. What is the weather like where you live? What is the weather like where you live? Everybody, again, thanks so much for being with Fox News Now. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on everything you can imagine. If it's happening, we will bring it here. Hey, let's go to another, I'm gonna say hi to you guys really quick. Hey, let's go to another feel-good story for those still in the holiday spirit. So I'm going to take you to a video I found this morning, courtesy of the Portland, Maine Police Department. And I'm not going to say anything about it. I just kind of want to surprise you guys. So are you ready to take a listen and to watch? All right, here we go.
Night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Chains shall he break, for they all are brothers, and in his name oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord, then ever praise we, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night divine.
Again, that was a Portland, Maine police officer, not Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine. Supposedly he was dared by another officer to do it. I think I either read or saw that that officer majored in like chorus or choir in college, but he definitely knew that he had the talent. It's not like a secret talent that just came out. But I mean, you know, there's some stuff that you may not know that people are capable of doing, and it just makes you kind of, you know, think and wonder. Like, do you ever have like a, is it like a backup plan or like a backup career? Like, if you weren't doing what you're currently doing, do you know what you would be doing otherwise? I mean, some people do, some people don't. Hey, have you ever heard of Elf on a Shelf? Well, in Washington, there was a baby on a shelf. Let's keep it in the good holiday spirit, right? Like I said, we kept getting all these feel-good stories today. So yeah, I'd like to show you guys that one. Take a listen.
Kaylee and Clay Burke are spending their first Christmas with their little bundle of joy, Charlie.
Charlie is 6 months old. He is a really happy little elf on the shelf this year.
12 days of Charlie the Elf for the 12 days of Christmas. It was an idea started to share with family and friends, but then
This morning it kind of went viral. It's on all the different news stations across the country. We definitely didn't expect that, but it's been a really exciting Christmas for sure.
These 12 photos are making the rounds. Charlie making flower angels, sneaking some whipped cream, letting Santa know he was going to be late for work, and finally, on Christmas Day, he popped out of a gift box with the caption, "Merry Christmas." As you can imagine, Charlie is getting a lot of attention.
I know you want another nap, don't you?
But he does have help now.
Well, he has his own agent. His little cousin Grant is 4 months old, so we're going to hire him to handle all of his contracts.
Kaylee and Clay do have some plans for photo shoots in the future.
Yeah, keep an eye out for all major holidays, because apparently he's coming out for some other ones. So.
For right now, though, they're just happy they can give joy to all this holiday season.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for loving our little elf as much as we do.
In Spokane Valley, Katie Chen, KHQ Local News.
That report being filed again out of Washington. I mean, cute baby alert, right? Baby on a shelf. I don't know if they're allowed to use that term, though. I mean, there may be some copyrights involved there. Not quite sure. Hey, it is Tuesday, the date after Christmas. I would love to hear what sort of gifts you got. Did you get what you want? Do you go to any stores today, whether it was for returns or purchase? Yeah, let me know. Hey, if you are a first-time YouTuber or you haven't done it yet, we like to stream live breaking news here. And the only way you're going to know about that first is if you hit that little subscribe button. Just click. That's all it takes. Subscribe. When I first started here, I'm on my 4th week on the job, by the way. That's why some people are still meeting me. I think we're at about 200,000 subscribers. Now we're above that. We're at about 201,000, so that's good. We love to see that number continue to grow, and we love the YouTube chat. We love informing you guys of what's happening. Tell me. I'm gonna ask a question. Remember, I like asking questions. I am a journalist after all. I mean, that has been my job for so many years. But what drives you to a story that's not in your community? What makes you care about it? So say you're in Florida. I don't know where in Florida, anywhere. Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville, Pensacola. And say that you hear something happens in New Mexico. Well, would it have to be something in particular that makes you want to pay attention to it? Or, I mean, just what draws you to it? What do you like about it? Let me know. Like to get some interesting feedback on the chat. I'm going to show you a beautiful shot. Like I said, I'm not sure which mountain this is atop of in Arizona, but you can see the contrast. You got the a little bit of blue peeking out in the sky there. You've got the clouds. You've got whatever mountain this camera's on top of, and then a nearby mountain, and then way beyond that is another mountain. So I can see some buildings there, especially on like the bottom right. So you know that's at least somewhere in the valley. Just not sure exactly where. But yeah. Hey, are you a college football fan? If so, we have the Cactus Bowl here in Arizona tonight. We have UCLA. The record is 6-6 versus Kansas State, and their record is 7-5. That's going to be 9 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Arizona time. It's happening at Chase Field, and when we last got a picture of it, it appeared they were at least opening the roof. Not sure if that is the plan for the entire game. But, yeah. So we are keeping an eye on that for you. Hey, I'm gonna take you back to Times Square. Oh wait, this is not Times Square. This is New York City, but Fox headquarters. There you go, right there. And I am looking for some information for you, so bear with me here. Still here with you all, trying to get an additional story for you. So thanks so much for your patience and for watching Fox News Now. Still here with you. Hey everybody, well, I am trying to find what I'm looking for you. I am going to show you another story on North Korea sanctions.
The U.S. is once again turning up the heat on North Korea and what the U.S. says is North Korea's continued attempts to build weapons of mass destruction. The latest pressure involves new sanctions from Washington aimed at 2 senior North Korean officials. 2 North Korean officials involved in the program fell under sanctions from the Treasury Department Tuesday. Both are now blocked from making transactions with any American businesses or individuals. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said in a statement the move is part of America's maximum pressure campaign to, quote, isolate the DPRK and achieve a fully denuclearized Korean peninsula. These new sanctions come just days after the UN Secretary approved other sanctions against North Korea, taking aim at the country's economy.
Sanctions are not an end in themselves, but an effective means to bring North Korea back on the track for a peaceful, diplomatic, and political solution.
This past weekend, North Korea called the move an act of war.
North Korean regime and Kim Jong-un, they have bet everything on one hand of poker. And that one hand is their intertwined nuclear and strategic missile programs. And they are going to cling to that because it's all they've got.
Today's sanction targets a list of more than 24 North Korean officials working around the world. In Washington, I'm Ellison Barber, Fox News.
The U.S. is I'm once here with you for some weird reason. It's not pulling me up. Operator error, I guess. Goodness. Hey, so yeah, we had some stock news today. We actually, a story I can bring you, we learned about the 2018 foreign threats. Let me see if I can find that story for you again. In the meantime, so you're not looking at me trying to find all the footage, switch on over to Times Square. Oh, it looks like, wow, either it got busier or it just looks that way because the sun has set. I'm not quite sure. I am not quite sure. Alrighty, well, I believe that the Pentagon is keeping a close eye on China and North Korea as we inch closer to 2018. Let's take a listen to this report.
The UN Security Council voted to crank up sanctions on the rogue communist regime. It's the first set of sanctions since North Korea's long-range missile test last month, which flew higher and longer than any in its history. Pyongyang responded in a statement Sunday. The vote was akin to war.
We define this sanctions resolution, rigged up by the United States and its followers, as an act of war, violating peace and stability.
Just one in a host of challenges facing the U.S. military around the world, as the Trump administration approves the shipment of anti-tank missiles to Ukraine, capable of destroying Russian armor, a decision met with rare bipartisanship.
I support the administration's decision to provide these types of defensive weapons for the Ukrainians. It's a clear message to Russia that we will not allow them to continue to compromise the sovereignty of Ukraine.
In Yemen, the U.S. military has conducted more airstrikes in 2017 than the last 4 years combined against al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and ISIS. Recent U.S. intelligence estimates indicate the terror group has doubled in Yemen over the past year, the situation taking on more urgency at the State Department as the civil war rages on.
It's in the United States' interest to see this conflict in Yemen brought to a close. Al-Qaeda benefits, Daesh benefits, Iran benefits. Not good for the United States.
A former senior director at the National Security Council also warns of an old foe taking root in Syria.
A lot of folks, when they think about al-Qaeda, probably still think of its center of gravity as being on that Afghanistan-Pakistan border. But I would think of the center of gravity for al-Qaeda really having shifted to Syria at this point.
This comes as China conducted full flight operations with its first aircraft carrier this past year. Beijing now boasts a fleet of warships similar in number to the U.S. Navy and will overtake the United States by 2030, according to experts.
I think China probably poses the greatest threat to our nation by about 2025.
The head of the U.S. Pacific Command has long complained about the shortage of attack submarines necessary to gain intelligence on China and North Korea. If Congress doesn't pass a budget next month, expect those shortages to continue. At the Pentagon, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
All right, well, all eyes will be on Capitol Hill and Congress when they get back to work after the new year. Hey, now that it's getting dark on the East Coast, I have some beautiful shots to show you. Again, this is the Fox News headquarters live. A lot of taxi cabs out there, still a lot of visitors out there for the holidays. Hey everybody, we're still here with you on this Tuesday. I want to show you, you guys might be a little bit surprised when I show you this, but here we go. Okay, so you were taking a live look at Fox 13 News out of Tampa Bay. It's the Fox affiliate in Tampa Bay, Florida. They are on Eagle Watch, and they say they're getting close here. They say there's a visible pip in one of Harriet's eggs, and they could have an eaglet any day now. Now, I will say when I was watching this earlier, I did see the egg, but, you know, ever since this afternoon, she's kind of been on top of it. So, keeping a close eye there. Yeah, there we go. It's so cool how they have the ability, technology these days, man, how they have the ability to move the camera around without disturbing an animal. It is one of those things to me where I'm just kind of like, wow, like that's cool. You know, sometimes you don't really realize or think about the technology. Again, Fox 13 out of Tampa Bay says they're getting close. A visible pip in one of Harriet's eggs. There could be an eaglet any day now. Hey, depending on what part of the country you're in, some of you might have, you know, chickens or roosters or that sort of thing. We're getting a lot of comments now on the YouTube chat. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Hey, do you guys like this, the Eagle Cam? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? All right, so we're gonna keep looking at this for a little bit. Still here with you guys though. Camera may be moving. As far as we know though, we should be staying on Harriet here. You can see her moving back and forth. So any day now or any second now? I mean, this might be kind of hard. I see some of you on the YouTube chat saying that you have been keeping an eye on this, so this is pretty cool. You know, I'm not too familiar with eagles. I know they're so majestic, but let's just keep watching this for a bit. Let me know what y'all think about it. Look at this, eagle cam. We had, was it this year? Was it 2017 with the other animal cam? What was it, draft cam? Was that it? Still, like I said, I'm so amazed by all the technology these days. I'm so amazed. All I know is when I put this up, a lot of you started commenting. So I'm gonna assume, is it bad for me to assume that you guys like this stuff? Again, this is coming out of Fox 13 in Tampa. So we know this is in Florida. Let me see if I can find out some more info. Hang on, guys. All right, guys, here we go. Got some more information. Sorry, here we go. Bear with me. Okay. Pip has finally appeared in one of 2 eggs being incubated by Southwest Florida's favorite eagles, Harriet and her mate. Supposedly, we're looking at Harriet right here, but her mate's name is M15. Kind of sounds like a Bond character or something. The world has once again taken note of the pair made famous by an eagle cam. They have spent about a month taking turns sitting on the 2 eggs. Could you imagine? You know, wow, taking turns. According to the Eagle Cam website, the first egg was laid November 19th, the second on November 22nd. So we're at more than a month here. So I'm assuming they're thinking we're getting really close since we're keeping a close eye here. I'm assuming. The eggs are incubated for between 34 and 39 days, so the eaglet should be ready to appear anytime. Last nesting season, Harriet, which again, I've been told we're looking at Harriet here, she laid 2 eggs, but only one of them proved to be viable. The entire world. That's kind of a optimistic, I guess. They watched as Harriet and M15 took turns incubating the eggs, eagerly waiting until there was a crack, and finally an eaglet called E9 was born on New Year's Eve. What a birthday, huh? The second egg, last year, the second egg of Harriet and M15's never hatched. But again, this is coming from our Fox affiliate in Tampa. The eaglet born almost a year ago. E9 grew and flew out of the nest after an accidental fledge in March and was last seen in the area in May. The nest, located on private property in the Fort Myers area. Though the eagles have been nesting in that tree since 2006. Wow! The Eagle Cam began live streaming during the 2012 to 2013 nesting season when Harriet laid 2 eggs with her first mate. Her first mate's name was Ozzy. Sadly, Ozzy died in 2015 after a fight with another male eagle in the area. Again, this is all kind of, I'm learning with you guys, you know, eagle knowledge. We're learning eagle knowledge. In 2015 is when Harriet bonded with another eagle. That's the M15. And again, last season, 2015 to 16, they successfully hatched 2 eaglets. There are 3 cameras that capture the lives of this eagle family. And they say that all the cameras are environmentally friendly and non-intrusive. The cameras are equipped with night vision, and the glow that people see on the video at night is invisible to the naked eye and goes unnoticed by the eagles. So that's kind of important because you don't want to intrude or disrupt, because you know this is Mother Nature at its finest, you know, and we don't want to intrude. Eagle Cam is also available as an app, I'm being told, on both Apple and Android devices. So, I mean, that's interesting. It's kind of fascinating. What do you all think about it? Again, this one, I'm being told her name's Harriet, and there's a visible pip, and one of her eggs could have an eaglet any day now. So let's just keep watching this for a little bit. Seems like you guys like it. Again, you are taking a live look at Eagle Cam here out of Florida, and we just learned a lot of information about eagles that I didn't know. But hey, Harriet here supposedly doesn't know or doesn't feel like she's being watched. So learning here, a pip is when the chick makes a hole in the egg before hatching completely. So like I said, I'm learning here with you guys. I'm getting all this information. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Eagle watch. Tell me what you think. Love to hear it. We are waiting for some video to come down for some other Phoenix news. So until then, I'm going to keep you here on the Eagle Cam. It's moving. The camera's moving. You can probably see it every once in a while here. Here we go. Again, the young bird's name is not Pip. We've learned a pip is when the chick makes a hole in the egg before hatching completely. So we don't know if we're days away here or moments away, but this Eagle Cam seems to have gotten quite a bit of attention. So we are definitely keeping an eye on it as well. Is that her partner? Are they both in the nest? Guys, this is pretty exciting. You can't deny it here. That appears. Oh! Let me see. You see, oh. You see both eggs there. We're zooming in. I'm assuming that's the Pip, the one on the right. Are they switching out? Remember, for more than a month now, they've been taking turns. Looks like they're switching out. Yep, the one on the right there. Looks like it to me. Wow. So cool. So cool. Again, I'm getting some funny comments on the YouTube chat. This is not intrusive, we're told, to the Eagles. The Eagles don't know that we're watching. And even at night, we're invisible. The camera's invisible to them, I'm told. So, right? We've been seeing Harriet there sitting for a bit, and now they're taking turns. They're switching. I mean, does it surprise you, amaze you that we can get pictures like this? Or, I mean, I call it pictures, but it's video. You know, it's a live camera. To some, it may be surprising. To some, it's not. I don't know. Hey everybody, I'm going to switch shots really quick for you here while I try to pull up some other news. We are still keeping an eye on that house fire in Chicago. I'm told the picture is still up, so I'm going to try to get that back for you. Still here with you though, still here with you. And just when we thought we could bring it to you, we lost it. But hey, at least you're looking at what some call a beautiful shot. I always like looking. I feel like it's like a different pace of, you know, lifestyle, that sort of thing. Again, you're looking at Times Square in New York City. They are preparing to drop the ball on New Year's. I mean, do they? I guess technically they start dropping it on New Year's Eve, and then it falls all the way on New Year's Day when we do the countdown. Anywho. Trying to take you guys to some sort of traffic cam in the area, since we've been keeping an eye on the traffic and on the roads and in the skies. But not seeing anywhere I can take you all. Again, we have live feeds across the nation that we like to bring to you. All right, everybody, let's bring this Eagle Cam back up for you. Why not? We don't, got about 8 minutes left with you here this afternoon. Hey, again, we really appreciate you watching us, whether it's, we call it on air, that means TV, but we're also on air on YouTube, and depending on the day or the story, on, you know, on Facebook. Again, this is Fox affiliate in Tampa Bay is showing this, again, because these eagles are located in Florida. Just saw what we believe is Harriet, who's the mom, exit the picture, and the father come into play here. See him rocking back and forth. I think he can tell. So I just learned all this eagle knowledge I'm learning here with you guys. A pip is a when a chick makes a hole in an egg before hatching completely. So we saw that before this eagle sat down. I don't know. I mean, can we really call it the secret life of animals anymore? You know, we had giraffe cam, now we have eagle cam. It's pretty cool though, pretty unique, right? Again, this picture being put up on social media by Fox 13 News in Tampa Bay. Feel like we're getting pretty close here to seeing some hatching. Pretty close. Again, the mother and father eagles have been switching out, lying on the eggs for about a month. Hey everybody, maybe bringing you back Eagle Cam, but I have a shot up now that I usually can show you several times a day, but I haven't been able to yet today. Here we go. taking a live look at the White House in Washington, D.C. Just look how beautiful. Have you guys ever visited the White House? I remember I went to Washington, D.C. when I was in 3rd grade. That was actually my first time ever on a plane. And I remember being at the gate outside of the White House and seeing the White House and going to all the monuments, the Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, I believe it's Jefferson Monument. Like I said, I was like in 3rd grade. I think I was like 8. And I remember doing a lot of walking. The Vietnam Wall, the memorial, because my father's a Vietnam veteran. But, I mean, you still have the holiday decorations up, the wreaths on all the windows, and the garland coming down to, it looks like a hanging lantern right there. You've got the flag blowing in the background that's also lit up. It's just one of those very beautiful sights, for lack of better words. Not a whole lot going on in Washington this week. You know, last week all eyes were on Capitol Hill as Congress tackled tax reform, which passed. President Trump signed it into law, and then we had the spending bill, which also passed the House and the Senate, which averted a crisis, a government shutdown that was averted. And yeah, but now everybody's kind of in holiday vacation mode. Still a beautiful sight. I'm going to take you back here to Eagle Cam out of Florida. Hey everybody, our time together went really quickly this afternoon. Remember, if it's breaking and we have access to the video, we like to share with you here on Fox News Now. You're watching us now on YouTube. We also air on Fox 10 Extra, which is channel 45 on your rabbit ears or digital antenna, cable channel 9. So that is Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to noon. You can usually find us here starting our stream on YouTube at 9 a.m. So remember, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. Where can you not find Fox News Now? And we call ourselves Fox News Now because if it's happening now, we want to show you it now, right? Hey, thanks so much for being with us. Again, if you want to keep an eye on Eagle Cam, taking a look here, Fox 13 News out of Tampa Bay, they still have the live shot up. They're keeping it up for you. We just had the Eagle switch out. Mom and Dad have been, you know, laying on the eggs. Oh, now they're showing both Eagles in the shot. So if you want to... Hey, again, thanks so much for watching us. Thanks so much for being with us this afternoon. More news now tomorrow. Definitely some more news now tomorrow. So join us tomorrow. We'll be here. Hope you are too. For those of you who celebrated Christmas, hope you had a great Christmas. And all right, we'll see you Wednesday. Let's give you another live look out of the Phoenix, Arizona area. Take a look at that. A little overcast, but you can see we do have green here in Arizona. Hey, again, thanks so much for being with us. And I will see you tomorrow. All right, take care.